Hi and welcome to Recurrent. Today we're going to be doing a demo for you to see exactly how to upload your properties onto Recurrent, how you can see your bookings, how you can see the guests who have booked your shortlet, what the know your guest feature is, and all the other parts of Recurrent. So we're going to be starting with the dashboard. A dashboard tells us exactly what we have. So it shows us today's date and it says we have one booking in different apartments. And we have four properties, we have four bookings, but we have no earnings because no one has paid. And this calendar shows you for the month, and you can see all your shortlet units on the left hand side. And when you scroll through this, you can see what days of the month in January have been booked on your shortlet. Now we're going to move on to how to create a property or a shortlet on Recurrent. What you have to do is here, click on properties, and you see a list of all the properties that you have on your Recurrent account. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on new. What this does is that it shows us what it is that we need to be able to create a property. Now we're going to get started, and it's going to ask us to put in some details about property. So name of our property is Beko Pro Lounge. It's the name of our property. What type of property is this? Now we're going to be selecting what type of property this is, and we're going to say this is the kind of property it is. Now moving on to next, we're going to be describing so that's our description for the place. And next we're going to select the amenities that the property itself has. So we're going to say it has kids playground, has parking space, it has a lounge area 24 hours, and let's also say that it has backup power. Now moving on, we're going to be adding photos or videos of our land. We're going to be adding an exterior picture first. So we're going to add this as our exterior photo, and then we'll move on to other places. Now we're adding a location to our property, and we're going to say it is at here in Gwarinpa in Nigeria, Abuja, and the map is going to show us where that place is, so that in case if that's a mistake, you can always go back. Now we're going to move on to the next slide. Now the next is property units. Property units is telling you exactly how many rooms or how many individual shortlets are on that property. So we're going to say that we have one, which is Pro Lounge 1. Okay, so we're going to call it Pro Lounge 1. And then we're going to say this is the 3-bedroom suitable for a family of 3 to 6. All right, next we are going to say it has 3 beds, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and also has a kitchen. I'm going to say that the adults that can stay here, we can have about 3 adults, we can have about 3 children, and we can also have infants because the rooms are equipped with items for kids. Now, what amenities does this unit have? Now, we're going to say this unit has free Wi-Fi, air conditioner, heater, iron, this and this. We say it has this, and we're going to say it has a microwave as well and a standard kitchen. We're going to be adding the pricing now. What's the price per night in our shortlet? We're going to say it's 2,000 naira. There is no caution fee. However, minimum down payment is 100%. A minimum stay duration, we're going to say it's 3 days, and the maximum stay is 21 days. We're going to go ahead and say next. Now, do we have any discounts here? We're just going to select the weekend discount and say yes, we have a weekend discount of 20%. Next is when can your guests check in? So this is by default selected. You can feel free to change the dates, the you feel free to change the times that you want your guests to actually check in. Now we're going to add this to this particular property, which means that we want our guests to be approved before they can make payments. We're going to add a few pictures to our property showing exactly what we want people to see. Let's add another one. All right, so now that that's added, we see that here. Added units, we have Pro Lounge Uno, it's 20,000 naira per night. These are the amenities, check in, check out. Recurrent allows you to duplicate if the second unit is identical to the first one and you don't want to go ahead and recreate. But we're just going to skip that and go to the next, which is property policies. Property policies are things like house rules. So for house rules, we're going to select our basic standard. For this is a template that Recurrent has. You can add or you can take off some things which you feel are not necessary to what you have as rules for your shortlet. Next, we're going to go to terms and conditions. Now, terms and conditions also Recurrent has a template that you can use, and as well you can edit and make it more suitable for you. Next, we have a cancellation policy. Cancellation policy, we also have a template that you can use, and as before, you can make additions or subtractions if you feel anywhere is necessary for that. Next, we'll be going to the fifth step, which is additional services. Now, additional services tells us if there are other things on the property that you want your guests to be aware of. Now, this property, we have options for verification, insurance, self-check-in, self-checkout, or e-key. So we're going to activate self-check-in, self-checkout, and verification. I'm going to go ahead and click on next. For these services, I'm going to skip this because I don't want to add any of the services. Now here's for team members. If you want to add team members, you can go ahead and add a team member, or you can skip that part and not add a team member. Now once that is done, it opens the page for you to see the dashboard of that particular property that we have just added and the units that are on that property. Now the next thing that we have to do is to publish the property. Publishing it gives you an opportunity to get a link that you can then share on your social media or share on any of your posts so that guests can have a view of your property before they are able to check in. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, Next thing that we're going to do is to go in and see what exactly one of those properties look like. Now, but before we do that, we have here is bookings. Under bookings, this is where you're going to see any reservations that have been made. Under guests, you're going to also be able to see all the guests who have made payments for any of your shortlets. For Know Your Guest, what Know Your Guest does is that when any of your guests have completed their verification, you'll be able to see their verification here, and you can click on each one and get to see exactly who that person is. So we're also going to go back to our dashboard, and on our dashboard we should be able to see a new shortlet that has been added here, which is Pro Lounge, and it tells us that there is nobody who has booked for Pro Lounge Uno. Now, what we have done is taken our public link and we have put it in browser, and it has opened up here, which is the property that we just added. It says that it's vacant, and we can scroll over here and see a few more shortlets that are owned by this host. Now, things to know about this property: we have the units that is here, we have the things to know, which entails the map and any other information that you as the host has put in. We also have house policies, which summarizes house rules, terms and conditions, and cancellation policy for that. I'm going to go back to property unit. I just want to remind you that this is what your guest or your prospective guest is going to see every time they're looking at your public link that you have shared on Recurrent. And they can go ahead and reserve here and select a date for their check-in. So we're going to say that our date for check-in is Tuesday, and we're going to check out on Saturday. We have only two adults here, and the name of this person is Mark. Let's see this. So we're going to see Mark this. Anthony at recurrent.ng. I'm going to put the phone number for Mark. And here it tells you, please note that verification is required for this booking. So if you don't want to use this booking, the guests can go back and see other shortlets that don't require verification. Now here is a summary of what we have. And we have a booking discount because it falls into the weekend. 20% discount. And we're going to submit. Now booking is in progress because while creating this shortlet, we specified that it needs to be manually verified by the landlord before payments can be made. So we'll go back into Recurrent as a landlord to see how a booking is done. Well, we need to see how the booking looks like, and then we're going to approve or reject it.